Giving me an up-close and personal view. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the JoAnne Powell Show. I am JoAnne. We're coming to you from the World Center Broadcast Media, WCOBM.TV, Hollywood. President Trump is abroad. He has been meeting with the Pope today, and he's in Brussels for some of the activities that he's doing as a part of this trip abroad. He's being pretty well received, although there are some protests in Brussels to his visit and some of the activities that are going on there. But in the United States, here back at home, things are not as cordial and things are not as smooth amid the controversy that is brewing here in the United States with Trump, his administration, the ties with Russia, and a lot of other things that are going on. And one of the other events on Capitol Hill that is kind of has people up in arms and upset is the newly unveiled proposed budget that Trump has kind of unveiled as it's going to Congress. Joining me now to talk about this and other issues about what's going on Capitol Hill is political analyst Bill Snyder. Bill, welcome back to the show.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that newly unveiled proposed budget. There's a lot to it that a lot of people are upset about because of some of the cuts that it has. Right now, deep cuts to programs for the poor, health care with Medicaid, food service programs, disability payments are some of them. And what we're seeing on the increased spending side include a 10% increase to military spending, and then more than $2.6 billion on border security, and in that bill, $1.6 billion for the border wall. So there are a lot of the people who actually voted for Trump that would be impacted if this particular budget was enacted.
It won't be. The budget that the president sends, any president sends, is simply a marker. Even with the Republican Congress, they're not just going to take the budget and pass it. It's the beginning of a long series of negotiations, and there's a lot of criticism of that budget from Republicans because what it does is it undermines the government safety net that a lot of Americans depend on. Remember in 2012 when Mitt Romney was running and he said at what he thought was a private meeting, he was secretly videotaped or audio taped. Mitt Romney said, I don't care about the 47% of Americans who are too dependent on government. They're never going to vote for me anyway. That got him in big trouble. Well, this is a budget aimed squarely at hurting those 47% who depend on government. The Republicans may believe in this budget ideologically, but they know the political consequences would be very serious.
I know some of those who are supporting this particular proposed budget are saying that it's based off of the projected growth and that more people would be actually working and the economy would be better. But is that a good way to do a budget based off of projections that you don't have any concrete actuals?
This is what Ronald Reagan used to call rosy scenarios. It's a very rosy scenario. We can cut taxes and the government revenue will increase somehow magically. And if we cut these programs for the safety net and people become less dependent on government, they'll all get jobs, they'll be more independent. That is very unrealistic, and certainly no economist seriously believes it's likely to happen. Let me tell you something. A lot of working class white voters voted for Trump, and this budget will hurt them.
Definitely.
It will hurt them. Now, there's been some interesting research recently by the Public Religion Research Institute, which argued that the people who voted for Trump, those white working class voters, they didn't vote for him for economic reasons. They voted for him because they wanted to make a statement against the political establishment. It was a real protest vote. The people who were really hurting economically, they voted for Hillary Clinton. But others who voted for Trump were voting for him to make a statement about their values, not about their economic interests.
Well, even though that might be the case, but it's going to have an economic impact on them based off of
Yes.
what, a lot of those people that are looking at this. And another thing, people are criticizing the fact that this is going contrary to some of the campaign promises. I mean, we all know how far that goes with politicians, but specifically when it came to Medicare and, the allotments to those who are disabled would fall under that. And definitely there are those who are saying that, by doing away with some of these food servicing programs, you are going to hurt a lot of children, a lot of women in terms of, hunger issues in our own country.
Yes, but the one thing he clearly promised was that he would not cut Medicare or Social Security, the two biggest and most expensive entitlement programs that tens of millions of Americans depend on. This budget really doesn't make any kind of serious cuts in either Medicare or Social Security. The cuts are on Medicaid, which is a program that benefits the poor and that more and more people have signed up for as a result of the passage of Obamacare. That is really being slashed, and that will hurt a lot of people. But Medicare and Social Security is what he said he'd protect, and this budget really does not do anything to violate that pledge.
Now, what about when you're talking about those who are in need of assistance? I mean, most of the programs are geared to be like a stopgap. I know there are people who always can take advantage of the program, but you don't want to just do away with it, especially when you're getting some of the 1%, the wealthiest Americans are getting tax benefits, tax cuts as a result of this budget as well.
That's what a lot of voters and a lot of members of Congress are beginning to see, that this budget is really a payoff to wealthy interests like Mr. Trump and his friends who went with him to Saudi Arabia and got a $200 billion business deal out of it. The United States got a lot of arms sales. That what he does really benefits his wealthy friends, but it's really going to hurt not just poor people, but a lot of middle-class people who depend on these government programs. About half the people in nursing homes in this country are on Medicaid, and those people, they're very elderly and they're very dependent on that aid.
I know, and that's even, that's the key component. Even though his voting base may have not voted for him because of economic reasons, that is going to come home to hit a lot of people. And I was looking at one particular talk show about this subject, and, we're talking about how this helps the poor, but where do the middle class fall in there? Because a lot of people, this one gentleman was mentioning, a lot of middle class people he knows are just one paycheck away from themselves needing these type of assistance programs until they kind of pull themselves up again. So I think as a nation we need to be careful that you may not be poor, but you need to be concerned about helping, making sure that everybody is kind of taken care of, because you yourself may be in need of the very program that you are, that is being cut.
Yes. The safety net is what Democrats define themselves as. They are the party that promises to protect the safety net. And here's Donald Trump, who's threatening the safety net, which is important to huge numbers of Americans. This is not a political platform that even Republicans in Congress want to run on, which is why they ain't going to pass this budget. They're going to make major modifications. It really is a marker.
Okay, that's good, because a lot of people are very concerned about that, especially you've got, midterm elections that are going to be coming up, so a lot of Republicans have to be careful if they want to, come back to Capitol Hill, because their constituents have already started talking about other issues, and this is just one more, as, this grassroots effort is just on a roll, and it'll just get bigger and larger as we go down the road.
They saw what happened at town halls. Many Republican members of Congress, when they went home last week, they refused to hold town halls because they knew what would happen. Those who did really got an earful of protest from people who wondered what's going to happen to them if this safety net is threatened.
Okay, well, thank you again. Always enjoy having you on the show. Bill Snyder, political analyst who is in Washington. We're looking forward to you coming back to L.A. So we can have you on the show again. But thanks again. You're watching the JoAnne Powell Show. Until next week, do something nice for someone in need.
If you are an adult that began college and has not finished your college degree, let me put it to you straight. If your lifestyle and your standard of living is not becoming to you, then you should be coming to us. Oakwood University Elite Program. We are the fast, flexible adult degree completion program for the busy adult, like you.
Register today. Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098. It's time to leap.
I'm JoAnne with the JoAnne Powell Show. You're watching the World Center of Broadcast Media, WCOBM Hollywood.
Thanks to Oakwood University and the LEAP program, I have now a college degree. So to the Spanish-speaking members of this community who feel that the LEAP program is something you should consider, I would say, ánimo a la universidad. Considere el programa LEAP de Oakwood University.
Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098.
Seize the Day Scuba for your best scuba experience above and below the sea. You'll find friendly staff, experienced PADI certified instructors, and state-of-the-art scuba equipment and gear. Join our dive club and we'll help you plan memorable scuba excursions. Immerse yourself. Seize the Day Scuba, serving Southern California. Call 949-220-0500 to create your scuba experience.
When I first started into the program, yes, I had doubts. I was really impressed with Oakwood University, with the faculty and the staff and the student body. It was a really good experience, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone who was thinking about going back and finishing their degree.
Register today. Go to oakwoodleap.com or call 256-726-7098.